Hey, good morning. Welcome to today's daily encouragement. As I said yesterday, we're going to be looking over the next few days at our human nature, at our psychological needs, and how the coronavirus has really come in and swept a lot aside. A lot of the things that humans need to be able to be healthy, to be able to have psychological well being, are being attacked by this current pandemic. And so it may be helpful for you to tune into these over the next few days and in a way that will help you name how you may be feeling or why you may be feeling so disorientated or why you are suffering in such a way. It can be helpful to for someone to come along and say, well, perhaps this is the reason why you're dealing with this. Um, we will all cope with things in a different way. We'll all respond to things differently, but I hope you'll find these sessions helpful. This has all come out of some work that Steve Petch did. He did a webinar for Commission leaders looking at the psychology of a crisis, and hopefully that'll be available through Commission as a recording. The first thing we're going to look at today is connectedness, the human need to connect with one another. We are social animals, you may have heard the term. We thrive on social connections. I found a great quote on this morning by an American physicist and New York Times best-selling author Leonard Mlodinow. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but it says this: social connection is such a basic feature of the human experience that when we're deprived of it, we suffer. Such a basic feature of the human experience that when we're deprived of it, we suffer. So for those of us who are struggling in isolation because we're missing those physical social connections with one another, there's a reason why. It's because it's one of our basic human needs. It's a characteristic of what it means to be human, is to connect with people. The Bible talks a lot about our connections with one another. It talks about the church not as a building, but as a group of believers all united by a belief in Jesus Christ and what he's done on the cross, which is what Easter's all about. It talks of the church as a family. It talks of each believer as brothers and sisters, united therefore relationally, as we've all received adoption as children of God. The Apostle Paul speaks of the church as a body with many members. It's important that the members of your body are connected to one another. You don't have an eye sort of sat 3 feet away from you, or a foot that sort of sat over the other side of the room. No, your body is connected together. It exists together. It thrives together when it's working together as a connected organism, essentially. And Peter, as we've just been looking at in our sermon series, talks of us as living stones. That Christ is building us together, brick upon brick upon brick. We are designed for social connection. We're designed to connect together. We're designed to belong together. That's what the Bible is affirming here. The Bible also talks about our connectedness to the world. The New Testament said that we shouldn't be isolated in little Christian enclaves, being persecuted yet just withdrawing. But we're to accept the persecution that comes when we engage with the world. Jesus called us witnesses. Peter says we're ambassadors. Yes, we're no longer of the world, but we're sent into it to be light bearers of the good news of Jesus Christ, to tell a story of a better world, of a coming kingdom, of the end to all this pain and misery and confusion. The Bible also talks about our connection with God. And in John 15, which is going to be in our next sermon series, we're going to do a sermon series in the Gospel of John. It's John part 4, and we're calling it Not Alone. And in John 15, Jesus uses the illustration of a vine. It says that we are the branches of a vine. We've been grafted in to a vine such that the living sap, the energy, the power that comes from God can flow into our lives through our relationship, our connectedness with him, such that we would bear much fruit. So the Bible affirms our need to connect with one another. And in this strange time, we can make some choices to help us to connect in the midst of this coronavirus epidemic. We need connection, guys. And so as a church, we've arranged various things to enable us to do that. So if you're in a group with the church, if not, please connect with a group. These meet weekly, and they're an opportunity to talk together, catch up with one another, perhaps look at the word, perhaps worship together. We have a daily prayer meeting as an opportunity to connect at lunchtime every day. We've got a prayer meeting. We've got a weekly prayer and worship meeting. We've got lots of WhatsApp chats in the life of the church. We've got a parents' Facebook page. We've got life groups with their own WhatsApp chats. We've got student and 20s life group chat, WhatsApp chat going on. So there's many ways to connect. So I just encourage you, don't try and go it alone for however long this next period lasts. We're coming up to, well, we've just started our third week, haven't we? And they're expected to perhaps extend the lockdown. Wuhan are just coming out of it after only 3 months. So do give it a go. You need human connection. Please connect with us, connect with a group. I'd ask you. You can't live this life alone. You are designed for social interaction. And if you're a member of this church, please connect in. You also have an amazing opportunity at this time to connect with your neighbours, seeking to serve their needs. There's a greater opportunity than ever to reach out in love and to be a witness to the good news of Jesus. Why are you so helpful? Why do you care so much to serve your neighbours? Not only because you're a good person, but because God has put a love in your heart, because you've been loved and accepted by Him, and therefore you love and accept others and seek to serve. You could also invite them into connection with God, more importantly, easily through an invite to online church. And I'm going to be sending a message to our members shortly, just to encourage them to invite many people to join us for our Easter service on Sunday. The gospel is going to be shared so clearly, so accessibly. There's going to be kids elements as well. It's a wonderful opportunity to invite other people to know the power of the resurrected Jesus in their lives as they receive peace and forgiveness and reconciliation with God. And finally, our connection with God. There is a massive invitation and opportunity for prayer in this season. Some of you are working more harder than ever and need to throw yourselves on the grace and mercy of God in prayer to give you the energy to do your jobs, whether that's parenting or key working. But for some of us, you perhaps have more time to reflect, and time that you would have spent outside the house, now you're locked in. And there's a massive invitation to spend time in prayer, massive opportunity there to rest and to wait on God, to listen for His voice in this season to strengthen and encourage you. If you are listening in and you would say you don't have a relationship with Jesus, then in this time of isolation, there is a great message of hope for you. As we have all locked our front doors, there is a door that will be opened to you. And we read about this at the end of the Bible in Revelation 3:20. Jesus is talking to the church. He says, I'm standing at the door knocking. Jesus is standing at the door knocking, hoping to be welcomed in, desperate to connect with you, wanting to connect with you. In fact, Revelation 3 uses the language of a meal. See, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and eat with him and he with me. It's an idea of Jesus wanting to relate to us, wanting to commune with us, wanting to live a life with us. We are not isolated. God is with us, and God longs to be with you if you would open the door. So I'd encourage you this morning, open the door to God. Take time to pursue Him in this crazy life that we're living right now. Thanks everyone, be blessed. Tomorrow we're going to be coming back to look at our safety and security and how coronavirus is impacting that. See you tomorrow.